All right, all right. So welcome to the training, ladies and gentlemen. First, this is our champion training that we do twice a week. This is part of your membership. You know, you pay $33 a month. One of the things you're going to get is some over-the-top, next level training and education. And so that's what we're going to be talking about here today. But before I get into it, I want to kind of give you some updates. So, of course, the corporate team is back from vacation. They were all over, during the month of August, but they're back and they're 100% focus is on my car club. And so they've been having small calls with various teams, and your team will probably be on the call soon if you haven't been on one yet. They've been answering questions and laying out what's happening moving forward. And so, just to give you a couple of updates, credit and debit card payments are back active, ladies and gentlemen. In addition to that, all members can now upload their card information in the back office for recurring subscription payments. So this is huge. You may have some people who have gone inactive for various reasons. Now they have the ability to go and use their debit and credit card, activate their accounts, and also store their account card information in the back office for future subscriptions. In addition to that, of course, the first payout on the new $1 per active member, monthly residual, that first payout is tomorrow. And so you're absolutely going to want to reach out to your team, get them up to date, because we are going into the fall season, which is the prime time for the things that we do. So we've got, of course, September, October, November. Those are our big seasons. You absolutely want to communicate with the team members, make them aware of what's happening so they don't miss out. All right, so on today's training, today was a holiday. I tried to spend a little time relaxing and everything. It's kind of hard to do. We got so much going on. And so today's training is actually going to be presented to us by Mr. Myron Golden. Now, he's a phenomenal trainer. He's a multi-millionaire, an excellent speaker. And what's so interesting about him, you can learn from a lot of different writers, right? You can learn from Think and Grow Rich. You can learn from the Quran. Okay, you could even learn from the Bible. Isn't that an interesting thing? Well, this gentleman, he teaches entrepreneurship based on biblical principles. So you're going to hear him mention some scriptures, but don't be alarmed by that. He's not trying to convert you. He's just using that ancient book as a guideline, almost like a philosophy, to guide us in the right directions. And so as you listen to this, I want you to open up your minds and look at the big picture and see how you can utilize this information to take you and your family to the next level. So this is absolutely next level training. Pay attention, take notes, ladies and gentlemen, because as usual, there will be a quiz at the end of the session. And if you don't raise your hand, I'm probably going to call on you because I'm a really good teacher. All right. So with that said, let's go ahead and get right into the training today. So the topic, what does it take to be a winner? Now, he entitles it, winners always quit and quitters never win. But here's the topic. I'm just going to summarize it. What does it take to be a winner in business, a winner in your relationships, a winner in life? What does it take? We're getting ready to take an inside look at this topic. I think you're really going to enjoy it. Let's go ahead and get right into it.
Hey there, YouTubers. I'm going to share something with y'all you've probably never heard before, and that is this. Winners always quit. Now, I know you've heard the phrase, quitters never win and winners never quit, right? That sounds good, but it's just not true. See, we love truisms that aren't true, and the reason we love truisms that aren't true is because they're really easy. They don't require a lot of bandwidth. They don't require a lot of attention or intention, but the fact is they do a lot of damage. And there are a lot of truisms that aren't true that people buy into that cost them a fortune or cost them the best experiences of their lives just because they sound good. Well, here's one of them. Time is money. See, that sounds harmless, right? Time is money. It sounds harmless. But the reality is, time is not money. So if I were going to write time is money on the board, I would write time is money. Okay, but this is a lie. It's not just a lie. It's a dangerous lie. It's a harmful lie. Now, why is that a lie? Because if I believe that time is money, what I will do, I will go and sell a whole bunch of my time for a little bit of somebody else's money, and I'll blame the world because I can't get ahead because I believed a lie. Or I'll go to Walmart I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, I shouldn't have said that. I'll waste a whole bunch of time trying to save a little bit of money. I'll drive 15 miles to save 3 cents on a gallon of gas because I believe the lie that time is money. Now, the reality is this. This is the real equation. But it's not even the full equation. What is that? Time is more valuable than money. Time is greater than money. If I believe that, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use as much money as necessary to buy back the rest of my life, right? See, rich people realize that time is not money. Time is infinitely more valuable than money. That's the full equation. Time is infinitely more valuable than money. Now, if you want to say something about time and its relationship to money, you want to say time is infinitely more valuable than money. In fact, wealth is measured more in time than it is in money. Have you ever thought about that? People say, well, Myron, is this a get-rich-quick scheme? My answer is always the same. You better hope so, because you're not going to be here long enough to get rich slow. See, the getting rich quick we've been warned about, which is probably why most people aren't rich, at least one reason, right? Beware of the get-rich-quick scheme. How come nobody ever said to me, beware of the stay broke for the rest of your life scheme? Because that is the alternative, right? And so these are what I call truisms that aren't true. But the truism that isn't true today that I want to talk about is quitters never win and winners never quit. But the reality is winners always quit. They always quit because they have to quit what doesn't work in order to start doing what does work. And so one of the most important things winners quit doing is they quit lying. See, lying sometimes feels like a very good short-term strategy, but lying is never a good long-term strategy. If lying is your long-term strategy, you are going to have a very good memory. And so what they do is, first of all, winners quit lying to themselves. They quit telling themselves things they know aren't true to make themselves and people around them feel good because they said that thing that they were, quote, supposed to say, right? And so what happens when if I don't become a winner and quit lying to myself? If I keep lying to myself, I will never have confidence. Why? Because the word confidence comes from the root word confide. And the root word confide means what? To trust. And so you are the only person who's heard every lie you've ever told. And here's why people don't have confidence. They've broken their word to themselves so many times in the past, they can't believe a word they say. But when your word becomes your bond, and you become a person of honor who would rather die keeping your word than live and break it, then you will have a level of confidence that will make you a winner. But not only that, people will have a level of confidence in you that will cause them to believe everything you say because you back up your words with your actions even when it's inconvenient. Scripture says in Psalm chapter 15 that a good man sweareth to his own hurt and changeth not. In other words, he gives his word, finds out that, oh, I should have thought about that first, but I've already said it. I'm going to do it anyway. How many of y'all tracking, right? And so quit lying, which brings me to the second thing. They quit making excuses, which is basically quit making excuses. An excuse is nothing more than a relatively sophisticated lie. Now, what's really interesting about excuses is they often show up in threes. But one of the greatest lessons that I've ever learned about excuses, I learned from Jesus. And here's what I learned from Jesus about excuses. You ready? If you don't make them, you don't have to take them. Because most people accept excuses from other people as a down payment on an excuse they intend to make in the future. I wish I had some help in here. and the reality is, when you don't make excuses, you don't have to take excuses. Like, it's okay to call people on the carpet and say, well, that's not what you said. But you said you were going to do it. Now you're giving me the reasons why you didn't do it. I am here to tell you, somebody might say they accept your excuse, but they're always going to remember that you are the person who lets yourself off the hook. And worse than that, you are going to remember that you're the person that lets yourself off the hook. So when did Jesus show me that if you don't make them, you don't have to take them? There's a story in, I think it's in John chapter 5. And Jesus comes to a man who was lame for 38 years and asked him the most insensitive, seemingly mean-spirited, simple question that maybe has ever been asked. He said to this man who's been lame for 38 years. That's a long time. He said, would you like to be healed? I'm reading that story. I'm like, what kind of question is that? Like, who asks people, who's going to come up to somebody in a wheelchair and say, well, would you like to be healed? Who's going to come up to somebody who's blind and say, would you like this? What kind of question is that? It's the kind of question that reveals the truth about the person being asked the question. Because the man did not say, yes, I've been waiting for you my whole life. That's not what he said. He gave a 3-pack of excuses. Here's his 3-pack of excuses. It's somebody else's fault. I'm doing the best I can, and other people are better than me. By the way, excuses almost never come in ones. Why? Because the person making the excuse knows it's an excuse. So they feel like they have to back up the lie that they just told with another lie that they're about to tell. You say, Myron, what do you mean? What do you mean? Jesus didn't accept that from him. The man said, I have no man when the water is troubled to put me into the pool. That wasn't the question. The question was not about other people. You don't understand. My brothers ain't here. My cousins ain't here. My mama, my daddy, my friends. I don't have anybody to help me in this pool when that water's troubled. But while I'm coming, I'm doing the best I can. Okay, here's what I want you to do. The next time you get your bill from the electric company, don't write a check and put it in the envelope and send it to them. Write an excuse. See how long your lights stay on. You say, what's your point? My point is, excuses never matter. They don't matter. You write an excuse to the electric company, you're going to be living in the dark. You write an excuse to the water company, you're going to be living with no water. Why? Because there's not a business in the world that will accept an excuse in the place of a result. So, he said, I'm doing the best I can. While I'm coming, what did he say? Other people are better than me. Somebody else steps in before me. So other people have the ability, but I don't have it. And here's what Jesus did with his excuse. He ignored it. Like, it's not enough that he just came and asked him this insensitive question. Now, the man gives him like 3 of the best excuses ever. So everybody else's fault. I'm doing the best I can, and other people are better than me. I mean, do excuses come any better than that in a 3-pack? Well, here's what Jesus said. Rise. But what about his excuse? I don't care nothing about that. Get up. Rise. Take up your bed and walk. Rise. It's time for all of us. It's time for you. It's time for me to rise above our excuses. It's time for us to rise above our limitations. It's time for us to rise above our obstacles. And if we're David, rise above our giants. And if we're Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, we rise above our fire. If we're Daniel, we rise above our lion's den. But we rise, it is time for us to get up and stop acting as if the thing that is put before us to show us how strong we are was put there to stop us. So, he said, rise. And then he said, take up your bed. It's time for you to start carrying what's been carrying you. Come on here. Yeah, see, you've been carrying, no. It's time for you to start carrying what's been carrying you. See, all of us can do more than we've been doing. We can become more than we've been being. We can have more than we've been having, but not if we're making excuses. And then he said, walk. You know, I love the term walk. Walk shows, walk is not like running. Walk is steady. Walk is consistent. Walk is put one foot in front of the other. Walk doesn't have to know the end in order to start at the beginning. It doesn't have to be able to see the end. You just start walking. The more you walk, the clearer things become. The farther you walk, the clearer things become. It's like I say to people all the time, if I say, you know what, I'm going to drive from Tampa to Pennsylvania. I would never do that again, but let's say that I'm going to drive from Tampa to Pennsylvania. And somebody says, Myron, when are you leaving? I'm leaving as soon as I can see the Pennsylvania state line. When do I get to Pennsylvania? Never. Why? Because I don't get to see the Pennsylvania state line until I actually take action. So many people are wanting to succeed, and they're ready to start as soon as they know how it's going to work out. As soon as they can see the finish line, they'll get started. But the reality is you don't get to see the finish line until long after you've left the starting gate. That's how life works. So you stop making excuses, you stop lying, and you stop being distracted. This is one of the most critical. Stop being distracted. This is one of the most critical components of success. Winners stop being distracted. The reason winners win is because other people are distracted. Now, here, this is one of the most mind-blowing concepts I've ever discovered. The primary difference between people who succeed at a very high level and people who live mediocre lives or fail and just stay on the struggle bus their whole life, people who succeed focus on intention and ignore distraction. People who fail and struggle and live mediocrely, those people, they focus on distraction and ignore intention. Now, I'm not just going to say that. I'm going to define some words. When I say they focus on winners focus on intention and ignore distraction. So winners quit being distracted. What is distracted? Here's what the distraction is. Anything that you give attention and intention to that does not move the needle in your favor. That's why, when my children were small, we didn't have television. You say, why? Because you didn't want your children watching TV? No, I didn't want me watching TV. I didn't have a television. There's no universe. And back then I would say, if you're making less than $20,000 a month, you shouldn't even have a television. But if you're making less than $50,000 to $100,000 a month, what are you doing watching TV? People say, well, Myron, don't you want to see them? I don't want to see them. I want to be them. I don't want to watch somebody on TV. I want somebody watching me on TV. I don't know. Well, I'm more of a behind-the-scenes person. Okay, be a behind-the-scenes person, but be behind the scenes of something that's going to make your life better, right? Watch other people. I want to watch other people live their dreams while I'm living a nightmare? No, thank you. I became hyper-focused on the objective of freeing my family from the bondage of poverty. And I didn't care what people thought. Myron, you're obsessed. Thank you. It's the nicest thing anybody said to me all day. Myron, all you care about is money. Okay, whatever you have to tell yourself. If that's what you have to tell yourself to make yourself feel like you're better than me, do you, boo? Say, what's your point? My point is, I'm focused on things that move the needle for my family. Winners quit being distracted. Only focus on intention. Only give attention and intention to things that move the needle. If it doesn't make my life better, why am I doing it? By the way, when you do that, you will be 1 in 1,000 who do that. Because almost nobody does it. Almost nobody. It's why Price's Law exists. Price's Law, the 50% of the production of any domain is produced by the square root of that domain. So if you have 4 salespeople, 2 of them are going to produce half of the revenue. But if you have 9 salespeople, 3 are going to produce half the revenue. And if you have 100, 10 are going to produce half of the revenue. And if you have 10,000, 100 are going to produce half the revenue of your company. Why? Because the other 9,900 focus on distraction and ignore intention. You can literally set yourself apart from the majority of human beings alive on the earth if you will just focus on intention and ignore distraction. Kobe Bryant became Kobe Bryant because he focused on intention and ignored distraction. Michael Jordan, same thing. Tiger Woods, same thing. It doesn't matter. People who elevate to that level. Elon Musk focuses on intention and ignores distraction. So, quit lying, quit making excuses, quit being distracted. Number 4. Quit being derailed by you ready? Disruption that follows intention. Stop being derailed by that. Stop being a full-grown adult and being surprised when you decide to do something good and disruption shows up. Well, of course disruption shows up. That's how life works. In what way does life work that way? Every way. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, and the earth became without form and void, and darkness upon the face of the deep. Do you think God just put that in there because he was just saying, well, I want chapter 1 to be more than one verse? He's showing us the process of creation in Genesis. He tells us he created the heaven and the earth. He tells that in Genesis 1:1. Genesis 1 verse 2 through 31, that's showing us how he did what he did. Why? Because he made us to be like him, and he's giving us a pattern. And here's what he said. Creation begins with intention, and then disruption follows intention. And then the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water. Then you have to find a source of inspiration. And God said, let there be light. And so now we need to find illumination. I need to learn something that I didn't know before. And God separated the light from the day, and the light he called day, and the darkness he called night. We need separation to completion. In the evening, we need separation. But then he said, in the evening and morning were the first day. Segmentation to completion. God didn't save any of day one's work for day two. He gave us a pattern. Disruption always follows intention. It's so fascinating. Joseph had a dream. What happened after that? His brothers threw him in a pit. They wanted to kill him. And then some Midianites came and took him out of the pit and sold him into slavery. How's that for a dream? Are y'all tracking? And then, as if that's not enough, right? Because it gets more better. David gets anointed to be the king of Israel. And when David's anointed to be the king of Israel, Saul spends like 12 years with a contract on his life. Disruption always follows intention. I shared this with a friend of mine last night on the phone. Jesus gets baptized in the Jordan by John the Baptist. Get it? Baptized. Okay, never mind. He gets baptized in Jordan by John the Baptist. And he comes up out of the water. The heavens open. The Spirit of God descends on him like a dove. A voice from heaven says, "This is my beloved Son in whom I am well pleased." Guess what it says right after that? Then guess what the next word is? Immediately. He was led of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. When you decide to do something good, the first thing that shows up is something difficult. Yeah. Stop being derailed by that. That's why winners win. They expect it. They know, here's what losers, people who don't win, here's what they think. Oh, this is a sign I'm going in the wrong direction. It's a sign you're going in the right direction. The disruption that follows intention shows you're on the right path. You decide to start working out. You haven't worked out in a while. You decide to start working out. You start getting in shape. Guess what? You don't feel stronger first. You feel weaker. Your muscles don't feel good. They feel bad. How bad? Bad enough to remind you every time you try to move, you do this to me again. Huh? And so what we have to do is we have to understand that I can't be derailed by the disruption that follows my intention. It's just how life works. Okay, cool. So I don't know what you do. I'm prepared for it. I expect the best, but I'm prepared for the worst. I'm always prepared for the disruption that follows my intention. Stop being derailed by that.
All right. How many of you got something from that training? I want you to raise your hands. Let us know if you got something from that amazing training. Have you ever heard training like that before? All right. So this is part of your membership. When you pay that $33 a month, ladies and gentlemen, you need to understand something. Every Monday in championship training, we're going to throw down, we're going to provide you some content that can take you and your life and your family to the next level. You just need to make sure that you show up. Now, how many people got something out of that training? Raise your hands. So you all should know how to use the Zoom. All right. Thank you, Nancy. All right, I see 2 people, but we have 23 people on the training. And I find it kind of hard to believe that only 3 or 4 people got something out of that training. Now, by the way, you remember this is a quiz, right? We didn't just come here just to watch. We came here to learn, to grow so that we can get better. All right, so let me ask you a question. I want to find out who's been paying attention and who's been taking notes. All right, if you decide to do anything worthwhile in life, what can you expect to happen? All right? If you decide to do anything worthwhile in life, what can you expect to happen? All right? I'm taking all the hands down. All right? I want to see who can answer that question. Now you can raise your hand. If you are intending to do anything worthwhile in life, what can you expect is going to happen? All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to Robert. All right, Robert, I see you, and I'm going to unmute you. Welcome to the call, Robert. You should be able to unmute yourself. Click on your microphone, and we'll give you an opportunity to answer that question. All right.
Okay.
How are you?
Thank you, Carlos. Fine, thanks. That is an amazing exposition about the better decision in our life, day by day. Thank you so much, and for sure, I got to present that on church.
There's 7 things people do.
Thank
Excellent.
you.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's take another answer. What can you expect to happen in life whenever you decide to do anything that is worthwhile? I'm going to go ahead and go to Desire. Desiree, I just unmuted you. Welcome to the call, sir.
Thank you so much, Mark, for the training. Good training. I didn't go to the service yesterday. I had not only the training, but I also had the service.
No problem.
Whenever you decide to do something, distractions just happen. That's just the way it is. So we have to be aware of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We know that disruptions are going to happen because that's real life, right, ladies and gentlemen? That is the real world. We live, it's a fallen world, and there are challenges and problems occur. Even the internet, it doesn't work perfectly. It has challenges, but it works enough that we're able to create this global economy. All right, let's go to the next question. I want to see how well you are all paying attention to tonight's training. All right, he mentioned something called Price's Law. Price's Law. Price's Law tells you something about people in general, about teams, about companies, about corporations. Can anybody tell us what Price's Law is all about and what does it tell us? Does anybody remember that? Price's Law. It tells us about the percentage of people who are actually going to go to work. Does anybody remember what that percentage is and what that group, what they account for when it comes to the production of a particular company? Let's go to Jeff. Let's ask Jeff about this. Okay, Jeff, welcome to the call. You should be able to unmute yourself.
I think I'm unmuted.
Yes.
Okay, it was the square root of the number produces, and I'm thinking it was 80%.
Okay. All right. So we know, and thank you. We know that a small percentage of the people are going to produce 50% of their results, ladies and gentlemen. This small group is going to produce 50% of the results. So what does that mean? Don't be surprised when people don't produce. Don't be surprised when people don't come through. What you're really looking for is that small group of producers, that small group of leaders. But in order to find them, you have got to be consistent. So don't get upset when you refer someone and they don't do nothing. That is normal. All right? Would you agree with that, Jeff? All right, he muted himself out.
Oh yeah, no, I had to unmute. Yes, that's what I agreed. It's like constant. I try and concentrate on influencers, basically.
You got it. You got it. All right, let's go to the next question. I'm going to find out how well you have been listening, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to give you the definition, and I want you to tell me the word. All right, so here's the definition. Anything that you give your attention to anything that you give your attention to that does not move you closer to your goal. What is that the definition to? What word does that define? Anything that you give your attention to that does not move you closer to your goal. All right, let's see if Carlos has that answer. And Carlos, you're unmuted, sir.
It's distraction.
Okay, and distraction is actually the opposite. What's the opposite of distraction? It starts with an I. Do you remember? What's the opposite of distraction? It starts with an I.
Intention.
You got it. It's intention. It's intention. So attention involves what? It involves your focus, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen? All right, so you want to get to another level, but you're not focused. But the guy who is focused, they're going to do what? They're going to pass you. You're not focused. The guy who's focused, he used like Kobe Bryant for an example. All right. Some of these professional athletes, which these are very disciplined individuals, they don't drink, they don't smoke, they work out hard. They have the same work ethics of some really good entrepreneurs. All right. In fact, any area of life that you can think of, the people that succeed and excel, man, these people they have a strong intention and a focus. Would you agree with that, Carlos?
That's correct.
100%.
And that is why right now, out of thousands of people in this platform, only a handful are champions. And we all have the same 24 hours, right? We all do. But that is the difference. That's the common denominator. Some of us are more focused while everyone else is distracted. And I just want to remind everybody, we're only 3 months away from the holidays. Are you ready?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Are you focused?
Mm.
Carlos, you're actually going too far. We have thousands of people. What about being on this training tonight? That's where we got to start, because this is where the success happens. Thank you so much, Mark. Back to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So he mentioned a few things that winners quit doing. All right. There's a few things that winners quit doing. Can anybody name one of those things that winners quit doing? All right. So I want you to go ahead and raise your hand. If you can name one of those things that winners quit doing. I'm going to go ahead and go to Dell. All right. So Dell, you are unmuted. Can you name one of the things that winners quit doing?
Quit lying.
They quit lying. And who do they quit lying to most of all?
Themselves.
They quit lying to themselves. Oh my goodness. So you want to achieve a certain level within the program, but you didn't do the work. You're not consistent. You're all over the place. All right, but you want to complain about things, but you're not even putting the work in. All right. So, the first thing that winners do is they stop lying to themselves. They get real. Okay, let's go ahead and go to Jeff. Jeff, what's one of the things that winners quit doing? You should be able to unmute yourself. Are you there, Jeff? All right, let's go to Pastor.
Yeah, no, it just wouldn't unmute until I hit it the 5th time. Quit being distracted and you have confidence.
Definitely. They quit being distracted.
Or be trusted. The 2 words there, yeah. So.
All right. Let's go to Pastor Charles. All right, Pastor Charles, can you name one of the things that winners quit doing?
Not only they stop lying, but then they also stop living in a delusional mindset, and they have a strong why. They have a strong belief system. They understand where they need to go, and they have goals, and they are committed no matter what to be able to reach their expected goals, especially if the product, especially if the company, the compensation plan has already showed that there is some consistency and some level of achievement there.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that, sir. Okay, let's go to Charity. Now, Charity, I can't pronounce your first name, and if you would, go ahead and pronounce your first name. Let us know where you're calling in from.
Yeah, my name is Siri. I call from capital of Florida, Tallahassee.
All right. Welcome to the call, Tallahassee. Welcome to the call.
Yeah,
all right.
So winner quit excuses.
He quits excuses. That's a big one. That's a big one. And so a winner is looking for solutions. A winner tries to solve the problem. The winner doesn't want to spend the majority of his time focusing on the problem. he wants to search for a solution. Now, what I want to do here is I want to bring on Desire on, and Desire, I want you to talk about how your team was able to have 27 people qualify for the fast track bonus. Can you tell us about that? How did that happen?
You know, Mark, it's very simple. Um, because we don't make excuses. You got who's right there. He got his speed bonus the last day. It was about 30 minutes before we get it. Because no matter what, we got to get that speed bonus. The company's giving us $110. That's a lot of money anywhere in the world. So we can't give that money back to the company. No matter what ways we got to use to get that money into our pocket, we got to get it. So we don't make any excuses. We got to find somebody. We got different strategies that we can use and so forth so the person can get qualified. So basically, we focus on the person that get in on getting those 3 people within 30 days. And that's all what we do. You got invite, get on presentation, or share the video, or do 3-way call. That's what we do. We focus on that and we help everybody. That is not, if I say everybody, that's going to be mistaken. Those who show up, because some people you call them, they don't respond. Some people you text them, they don't respond. And just a few minutes ago, I received a message from somebody say, I only have 4 days left for my speed bonus to go away. Where were you for the past 26 days? We don't show, you don't show up, we don't see you. But basically, focusing on those guys, working with them, making sure that they get into the system, they plugged in, and they actually do the work. So that's how we get it done. We don't worry about many little things. Like he was saying there, we don't make any excuses or focusing on this doesn't work, that doesn't work. If one way doesn't work, we use another way that working. Basically, no matter how, we have at least one way working, we use it until, hey, today everybody's happy. The car is back and everything's kind of fixed. Or we could have just pulled our hair off our head because the processing was not working. So basically, Mark just to say this is that we focus, we stay focused, we don't let anything distract us. And people who bring distraction, we cut them off the team. Really. We cut them off the team because it's just like poison. You know, they spread, you know, that bad news travels so fast. They start spreading bad news and all that. We got to cut them off the team. So we just stay focused. We don't want to stay focused, and we do everything by using everything that's available so we can move forward with those people. Thank you so much, Mark.
Awesome.
Winners.
Awesome. Let me
Car
do this.
ownership
Let me do this. Bear with me 1 second here. Let me do something. 1 second. Let me see where I'm at. Where am I at? Okay. Let me do this. I want to do. Okay. So let me do this real quick. I'm going to stop here, and I want to. 1 second. Okay. Great. Okay. Nope, that's not it. Stop again. And I'm going to cut this out, but I want to go here really quick. There we go.
Mark, I want to add to Desire's success as well. You know, it is important, and we're being transparent. The other reason is he's international. Very important to know that. The international community is different than the US community. And so I'm telling my leaders, at least 1 or 2 of your legs should be international. Now, why? Because internationally, you're not worried about credit card systems or processing. They deal with crypto. And this is a crypto-powered platform. And so I believe that's another major reason why the success is there, is because internationally, that's one less obstacle to deal with.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Carlos, you're right. And also, Mark, we just do sport here overseas. Okay? We just do sport.
Mhm.
Somebody might look at $110 like not enough money. Even though we all know that $110 is a lot of money anywhere and everywhere in the world. But for us here in the US, it's not a big deal. But it's a big deal because we know that in 2009, a lot of people lost their homes because of $345. We saw all those homes going on foreclosure. So it's a lot of money everywhere. But because we have just so much, we can go up to McDonald's. But it's not given around the world. You see people with doctorate degrees, and they can find work, and they have a chance to come here. 60 people to make $360 a month after 27 years of studying to be a doctor. So, Carlos, you're right. People should think about work. I said it on the training that when Mark brought me on the training, I said, work in your backyard, but look behind, look further, because America is a good place to be. I know that a lot of people, some people are here from other places around the world. America has every single community of any part of the world. So basically, we got to get out of that comfort zone and talk to other communities and talk to other different people and expand as much as we can. Because I can say this, one Hispanic will blow up your business. One French speaking person will blow up your business. One person in Nigeria will give you a champion's leg. And so we got to think international, even though we work nationally, we got to think international. Back to you guys.
All right, awesome. And I think that's a good note to close out on. Hope everybody had a good Labor Day weekend. And so we're going into our peak season, ladies and gentlemen. The fall is the peak season for what we do, and you don't want to miss out on that. And so we want to, go ahead, dig in, listen and apply some information that we have heard today, and let's go to the next level. Let's set some goals for the next 30 days for you and your family. Don't take any excuses, until you accomplish your goal. Let's do that. Let's lock arms. Let's help a ton of people. Let's do something amazing during the month of September. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank all of you who participated in answering the questions, all of our speakers. You are all appreciated. Remember, next Monday, get your team members on this training, ladies and gentlemen. One of the most important things that you can do throughout the week. Thank you so much. Everyone have an awesome evening. Goodbye for now.
Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you, everybody.
Awesome, Mark. Awesome training.
Thank you, Brother Mark. Blessings, my brother.
You're welcome, Pastor.